Hello and welcome to LFC Focus. Liverpool back once again in Premier League action this weekend, taking on Newcastle United at Anfield on Saturday evening in just yet another game that Liverpool just need to carry on winning. You know, the kind of thing we needed to do against West Ham last weekend, the kind of thing we did with relative ease against West Ham last weekend, just taking teams at Anfield that we absolutely should be beating all day long and getting a simple 3 points with absolutely no fuss whatsoever. And I think it's Newcastle, it's Rafa Benitez. We kind of know what to expect with this. All Liverpool fans know what kind of style Rafa Benitez is going to go for in this game. I don't think it's going to be completely backs to the wall because of the fact that when you look at the way Newcastle played against the two Manchester clubs at St James's Park this season, against Man City, they sat back so much. You know, the national media had a proper go at Benitez for the way he set up during that game. They ended up losing 1-0 anyway, so it didn't really work. Against Man United, they did a little bit of a similar thing. They sat back quite a lot, but they always ensured that they did have a forward threat as well, that they still carried some sort of attacking force when trying to get further up the pitch, and as a result they ended up winning that game 1-0. So I don't think Rafa Benitez is going to go completely hideously park the bus or anything like that. I don't think it's going to be 10 men behind the ball for 90 minutes, none of that stuff really, but I think he will look to defend a lot and hit Liverpool on the break. So we kind of know what we're in for in this game, and it's the kind of thing that Liverpool just need to look at and say, look, no matter how many men you put behind the ball, we're the better team here. We deserve to be winning this match, and we are going to get the 3 points, and that is what I think we are all expecting Liverpool to do this weekend. So the team news going into the match: Jurgen Klopp had his press conference earlier on today. Not too much injury stuff going on. It looks like the squad is pretty much fully fit at the moment. You know, Nathaniel Klein finally making his comeback from injury, played a significant portion of the game in the under-23s, I believe, which is probably the best way to help nurse him back to injury on a regular basis at the moment. He's not going to get too many options in the first team. I can't see him being involved in this game. So I think while, you know, all these big games are going on that we can't really involve Nathaniel Klein in, it's good that we are constantly playing him in the under-23s, making sure that he builds up a little bit of match fitness, ready to be bunged back into the first team at some point, either towards the end of this season or potentially during pre-season in the summer. But yeah, Klein coming back to fitness. Everyone else seems pretty much fine. Gini Wijnaldum does have diarrhea, sadly, for him. Jurgen Klopp said that in his press conference today, was quickly told that he cannot say diarrhea. He has to say the runs. But yeah, Gini Wijnaldum probably going to be unavailable for this game on account of the fact that he's got a poorly bum. So in all seriousness, you know, all the best for Gini Wijnaldum. I do hope he gets better. It's just quite a funny injury for a footballer to have compared to all the hamstring and muscle strains that they normally get. It's a little bit refreshing to see that kind of news popping up on your feed after a Jurgen Klopp press conference. But yeah, pretty much everyone is fit for this game apart from poor Gini Wijnaldum. So as for how I think we're actually going to line up, it's obviously going to be Loris Karius in goal for this game. I think with the centre-backs, I reckon it's going to be Van Dijk and Lovren. You know, I go for this combination a lot because I think it actually works a wee bit better than Van Dijk and Matip in terms of the sort of the way the players complement each other. Do check out some previous pre-match videos if you want to know why. I go a lot more in depth in some of the videos earlier on this channel. But yeah, that is how I think we're going to line up, because Jurgen Klopp seems to alternate between Van Dijk and Matip and Van Dijk and Lovren. I think he's still testing which one works, and seeing as we went for Van Dijk and Matip last time out, I think he's going to go with Lovren alongside Van Dijk for this game. And then either side of them, I reckon it's going to be Robertson at left back because he is great, and then I think it's going to be Gomez at right back because I get the feeling that we're going to go with Alexander-Arnold in midweek against Porto. You know, a game that's not a dead rubber, but there's a little bit less pressure on him. It's still a Champions League game, so while Alexander-Arnold's development is very far along at the moment, it's not like we need to look for opportunities to blood him into the squad. You know, we can throw him into any game and he does a reasonable job, but that kind of game, Champions League game, where the pressure is just a tiny bit off compared to usual, is the ideal game to help continue Alexander-Arnold's development. And then I think we go with Gomez again against Man U at Old Trafford. So I think Gomez for this game and then Robertson on the other side. And then the midfield, obviously no Gini Wijnaldum. I reckon it's going to be Henderson, Emre Can and Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think there's a shout for Milner in there somewhere, potentially replacing Emre Can or whoever goes in that role just ahead of the number 6, because Milner did a very good job against West Ham, has been proving very useful for Liverpool in terms of playing a little bit of a box-to-box box role. You know, he's all right going forward. He's all right defensively as well. He's sort of a utility man in that he can operate in any sort of role within the midfield. And it just takes a little bit of pressure off the attacking midfielder and the defensive midfielder, knowing that they've got someone to partner them in there. So I think there's a possible shout for Milner here, but I think he's going to go for Henderson and then Emre Can one side of him, and then Oxlade-Chamberlain providing that more attacking outlet after a very good second half performance against West Ham. Fingers crossed that he can carry on proving himself in that role for Liverpool. And then Salah, Firmino, Mane up front. No questions asked. That is just how we do here at Liverpool. So Newcastle then, bit of injury news on their front. They are missing Jonjo Shelvey for this game, which I think is an important thing for Liverpool, because beforehand I was thinking about how Jonjo Shelvey is a little bit like Marko Arnautovic for West Ham last week, in that how Newcastle play kind of depends on how Jonjo Shelvey plays. You know, he had a fantastic game against Manchester United, absolutely ran the show, ran their midfield ragged in that game, and as a result, Newcastle came out with a very decent result from that match. And I think it would be the same in this game if he were playing. It would depend a lot on what kind of Jonjo Shelvey turns up. Fortunately for Liverpool, I think it is fortunate. I think I was a wee bit worried that we might get, you know, the Jonjo Shelvey that just absolutely runs the game showing up. Thankfully, he's injured for this game. Islam Slimani is also unavailable for Newcastle. He must have been injured for ages, because I can't remember actually seeing him in a Newcastle shirt at any point. However, Matt Ritchie and Dwight Gale are fit. Obviously, Matt Ritchie got the winner for Newcastle in their game against Manchester United, so one to watch out for there. That was his first goal in Newcastle colours, so you know he's not been in great form this season, but there's a possibility of a resurgence there. Hopefully that doesn't continue in this game. And then we all know about Dwight Gale. There's nothing else needs to be said about Dwight Gale. He is the absolute scourge of Liverpool. Here's hoping that Van Dijk and co can keep a lid on him in this game, because like I said, that's what Newcastle are looking for in this game. They're looking for an outlet up front on the counter-attack, just to help take the pressure off a little bit as well. You know, they can't defend for 90 minutes. No one can defend for 90 minutes solid. You just get absolutely knackered after about an hour. You need someone up front who's going to hold the ball up, who's going to slow things down, who's going to give you a little bit of a breather, and also create the odd chance to actually give you an opportunity to get some sort of foothold in the game and try and get 3 points. So that's what I think Newcastle will be looking to do, and Dwight Gale, absolutely perfect for that. He's got a brilliant record against the big teams, and I'm just hoping that he doesn't continue it in this game. So yeah, Newcastle obviously a threat, obviously got those kind of players that Liverpool do need to watch out for, and their system is the kind that on an off day could potentially take advantage of Liverpool. However, I'm still going for us to get the win. As always, I think Liverpool, like I said at the top of the video, we expect us to get the 3 points in this game. It's the kind of thing that's becoming routine. So here are my 3 reasons why I think Liverpool will beat Newcastle. So like I said, the wins in these kind of games are just becoming more of a routine for Liverpool, especially the kind of win that we got against West Ham last weekend when it was, you know, 4-1. It was an easy win. It was very, very comfortable in the end. There were only a couple of scares. You had the Antonio goal, but by that time, let's be honest, Liverpool were far and away out of sight by that point in the game. And the thing is, while that is the routine, obviously Liverpool will have off days. There will be days when the team just doesn't quite perform to that standard. But the most important thing is that when they do have those days, they're capable of dealing with it a lot better. You know, you look at the game against Southampton, Liverpool's attack didn't really shine that much in that game. We didn't really dominate Southampton in that area of the pitch like we know Liverpool are capable of doing. However, we still got the goals that we needed thanks to the clinicalness of our attacking players, of Firmino, of Mo Salah, who can just create something in any kind of situation, and they are building that telepathic link together. But also thanks to the fact that our game management, and it's been mentioned so much over the last month or so, mainly because of that Southampton game, it's just improved so much, so that when Liverpool aren't on it, when we're not performing well, we know what we have to do to make sure that we can still grind out a result no matter what. We saw it quite a lot at the back end of last season when we were just grinding out 3 points week in, week out. After we lost Sadio Mane, we weren't able to attack in the same kind of way. We had to just grind out those crummy wins, the 1-0s and the 2-1s against teams like Stoke and West Brom and stuff like that. It's coming back for Liverpool now, and it seems to be an even more refined ability than it was last season. I think that is hugely important. You know, if we don't show up properly against Newcastle, we need that ability to manage games to ensure that no matter what happens, we still get the 3 points. And secondly, I'm hoping that Sadio Mane will be hugely influential for Liverpool in this game. Obviously looks like he's finally making a return to form after a pretty iffy few months in a Liverpool shirt, it has to be said. He got that hat-trick against Porto, had a good performance against Porto as well, performed pretty well against West Ham, you know, finally got his goal after a lot of persistence, a lot of just slightly missed chances. Obviously, he hit the post when one-on-one with the goalie just before he scored against West Ham, so I was chuffed for him in that. And I just think, you know, if this is Sadio Mane finally making his comeback for Liverpool, with the form that Roberto Firmino and Mo Salah are already in, if they can all maintain those levels, Liverpool's attack will just be absolutely ruthless. I mean, it's hardly the nicest attack in the world on the worst of days when the players aren't showing up, but they will just be cruel to opposition defenders when all three of them are playing at their absolute top level. And I'm hoping that Firmino and Salah, you know, I think we can count on them to maintain their level. Salah has shown that he's not just had a hot streak this season, he is capable of reproducing it game in, game out, all the way through the year. Firmino just gives his absolute all in every single game, and like I said, if Mane's coming back to his top level as well, then Liverpool are a force to be feared going forward. And finally, the fact that Liverpool are playing before most of their top four rivals this weekend does, I think, have a little bit of a bearing on the result. You know, I've always been a little bit sceptical about people placing a lot of importance on that kind of thing, saying, oh, we're playing before them, so we'll probably get the win and they'll probably lose because they'll be under pressure or anything like that. But I do think at this stage of the season, you know, at this crunch time period of the Premier League campaign, and also with the amount of players, and not the amount of players, the amount of teams that are all competing for that top four spot, you've got loads of teams that are capable of finishing second, of finishing in the Champions League spot, and they're all going to be fighting it out for it. I think that it does have a little bit of a bearing, and obviously Liverpool are the second of those teams to play this weekend. Tottenham are playing Huddersfield earlier on in the day at 3 o'clock, but apart from that, Chelsea play Man City on Sunday, Man United play, I think it's Crystal Palace on Monday. So I think that's important for Liverpool, you know. It takes the pressure off a wee bit. We saw it last weekend as well when Liverpool played against West Ham. They were the first of the top four challengers to play in their game, and it clearly helped because they played with so much freedom. And I mean, if you're Manchester United on Monday night and you're thinking all of our rivals have won their games, so we now have to get the 3 points, I get the feeling that teams would just play within themselves a little bit in those kind of situations. And Liverpool are a team that have to play expressively. They have to play with confidence. They have to believe in the system that they're playing for them to get the kind of results that they have been doing and the kind of results that they got against West Ham last weekend. So hopefully the fact that, you know, the pressure's always on, but it's a good kind of pressure. It's the usual pressure to win rather than the pressure of always comparing yourself to what's going on around you in the Premier League. So I think that will be important for Liverpool. Hopefully that can help us reproduce our best possible football and absolutely thrash Newcastle. So that is all for today's video. Thank you guys very, very much for watching, and thank you as well for 5,000 subscribers on the channel. Reached that this week. I'm absolutely chuffed with it, to be honest. I mean, it's not that long ago that the channel started at all, really, and I mean, it's come from humble beginnings. Took a while to get going, but things are obviously going lovely now. I'm having a great time making these videos. I'm very happy that all of you guys seem to watch and enjoy the videos every single week when they come out. So just thank you so much for all that you've done in making this channel what it is now. And I will be doing a few 5k subscriber specials here and there. There will hopefully be a Q&A, potentially live streamed if I can work out how to do that, so stay tuned for that. If it won't be live streamed, then make sure you get your Q&A questions in on the comments of any video, really. It doesn't have to be a particular one, but just put your comments in, ask some questions. I'll make sure I can answer as many of them as possible in the Q&A, and then a few more videos here and there to celebrate hitting 5k that you will find out about more at a later date. But yeah, thank you guys so much for helping me hit 5k. It's been great. I'm loving it at the moment. I'm going to carry on making videos for the foreseeable future, I think, because I'm having a great time and you guys seem to be enjoying them as well. So here's to more subscribers on LFC Focus, and let's hit 10k by the end of the year, maybe. I don't want to set a target, but if I did, that's probably what I'd be saying. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button there if you are new around here. Check out some of the other videos that have been out on the channel over the past few weeks and days and months. Don't forget to follow at LFC Focus TV on Twitter, and I'll be back tomorrow after Liverpool have hopefully beaten Newcastle at Anfield. Bye for now.